from the instincts and fear of death and overcoming the obstacles at Muladhara, we are moving to another layer, another level of our consciousness. In yoga tradition, it's called Svadhistana, and it's connected a lot to still kind of evolutionary map of our consciousness from the historical point of view. So there are still these tensions and desires to be alive and to hand over our genes and to stay here in the world. So we are still connected to this pressing matter to keep the life, and it's also connected to our way we perceive the world and what kind of paradigm we live through and see the world through which lenses. It's connected to emotions and feelings and all the water and liquids in our body and around us. Like the main element of this structure is water. Water is flowing, water is flexible, it's a lot of activity, action, it's connected to our feelings, to sexuality, to our desires, to sensing through all the senses, and the lower brain, lower mind that is making sense of the world through our sensory inputs. So making the basic calculations, what is necessary for us, how to behave, how to survive in the world. And also this drive to keep alive and to have a children, to procreation, so our reproductory system is important, and our drive to connect with the opposite sex. Yeah. Basically to create life and to stay here in the genes. So this structure, if it's harmonically connected, if we have the healthy connection to this universal pattern, it brings healthy emotions, not an emotional dramas and ups and downs, but the harmonical life, like living in the flow, being in the flow, kind of a lightness and activity and dynamic harmony in a life. So using our senses and tasting, feeling the world around us is very important for us, if it's not an obsession, but if it's a tool that we use for understanding the world, other people and ourselves. And there is also the drive, our passions, what we want from life, what we want to bring as our gifts, and to fill our life with some fulfilling purpose. David Hawkins, that structures of consciousness, he created his structure of levels of consciousness. He introduced it in this way, where you can see different numbers, like a logarithmical scale from 0 to 1000. And to that he connected a way we feel about ourselves and the world, our emotions. And the lowest possible is a shame and guilt and apathy and grief and all the fears. And higher we go, more expanded our consciousness is, our awareness, our ability to be conscious in a life, better perceiving and better emotions we have of the world. Instead of trying to protect my body and my family and myself and feeling that every other person is a devil and is trying to kill me or to be faster and richer than me, I perceive the world that it's an amazing opportunity for learning, and everything is here for me to achieve my goals in life, and there is enough space for everyone. And then we can move our fears from the limbic system and from the reptilian brain toward the frontal lobes, where it's evolutionary the newest part of our brain, and it helps us to have an empathy, to have a feeling for others, how they can feel, to have understanding how other people behave, and the interaction between the frontal lobes, between these two hemispheres of the brain. It's very important to understand the opposites and to connect them together, like a male and female, like the earth and heaven, if I would be a biblical, in a biblical sense, just connection and to stay somewhere in between in the harmony of life. So higher we go, better kind of emotions we can generate, and then these emotions will generate another opportunity for expansion of consciousness. So it's like a spiral going up, but you can easily go down as well. If you remember, David Hawkins in his book said, because he was also evaluating like books and arts and historical people, like Hitler. He said that at the beginning Hitler was somewhere 450 in his scale, which is exceptionally high. He was very high in expansion of his consciousness and very intelligent and had that compassion, but through the bad purpose and to be so narrow-minded and focusing on one direction without considering any collateral damage, like everything was possible, he decreased his consciousness. He fell down through the spiral somewhere around 200 or 180. That's what he said in the book. So you can also fall down or you can grow up, but it's our responsibility, and this is actually what we consider to be free will. That higher you go, more free will you have, and then you can be a creator of your life and your fate, and you are not just drawn by some circumstances, but then more responsibility you have.